ago yesterday. Pitched well. His numbers against the Cardinals are good for his career. 15 games, 4-0 record, 4.13 ERA, including the 2 wins last year. Offensively, the Astros have Leaborn and Pence in the outfield. Aaron Erstad's on the DL. Matt Kata is here to take his place. The infield has Blum, Tejada, Matsui, and Berkman nursing that strained calf. Fudge does the catching.
37-year-old Brian Moeller of Rockingham, North Carolina, has never lost to the St. Louis Cardinals. He is 4-0 lifetime against them with a 4.13 ERA. Tony La Russa's Cardinals are in first place by 2 games over the Chicago Cubs. They lead Milwaukee by 3, and Houston is 4 games out. La Russa, the winningest Cardinal manager in their club's history, his 14th year with St. Louis, 1,192 wins. And it's usually the Astros and the Cardinals, and then lately the Cubs, fighting for the NL Central title. Fox Sports Houston has a Twitter page. Expand your sporting network at twitter.com/FSHouston. Cecil Cooper's club has worked its way back to 500 at 46-46, thanks to a 27-17 run since May 30th. And over the long stretch of several weeks, they have played better baseball than the Cardinals. At one point, they were actually 9 games back, and so they've cut into that Cardinal lead, but now a chance to do it head-to-head after losing all 3 games of the earlier series in St. Louis. Coop's record 147, 137. Special caps being worn by the Astros tonight to commemorate NASA and the lunar landing 40 years ago on this day. Now they get ready to go with Schumacher as Brian Moeller does his customary kneel on the back of the mound, tracing the initials of his late father in the dirt. Schumacher at 304 with 3 homers has 23 runs batted in and a 361 batting average, on base average rather.
Been so long since we've seen them. He's a different guy. He's got a mustache now.
Yeah. Cardinals pitchers have grown mustaches, and Schumacher has followed suit. There's ball 1 for Moeller. Schumacher hit well in that first series between the 2 clubs at St. Louis. He's made the conversion from outfield to second base. Fouls that away, and it's a 1-ball-1-strike count.
Has done a nice job for the Cardinals, hitting for a good average up above 300. Not a lot of power, but pretty tough AB. Didn't strike out much.
Schumacher's 29 years old from Torrance, California. Ground ball, Matsui on the outfield grass with the flip to Berkman. 1 out on a good play by the Astros' second sacker. He's been nursing a hamstring strain himself. He sat out yesterday's game. Nick Stavinoa comes up next. Usually it's Colby Rasmus, the center fielder, batting second. He's a left-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher, but tonight Stavinoa gets the start. Nick, 27 years old, from Houston. Lives in Magnolia, 240 hitter, 2 homers, 15 runs batted in. He went to Jersey Village High School. Was on a All-State catcher on the 5A team there, and University of Houston, where he was a long snapper in football. He also went to San Jacinto Junior College and LSU. Vital numbers on Stavinoa.
He was well traveled before he even got out of school. Good linebacker in high school, big guy, good minor league power numbers. Hasn't shown much in that regard at the major league level yet, but just looking at the size of him, you know he's got some pop. Yeah, probably got a lot of fans here tonight, family and friends, I'm sure.
Taps that cutter foul right off the end of the bat. Stavinoa played last year against the Astros, going 1 for 4. The Astros had drafted him in 2002 in the 39th round, and he was a 7th round pick in 2005 when the Cardinals signed him. Stavinoa has plied his trade in the minor leagues for a while now.
Tony La Russa is paying attention to the numbers. They're not loading up with left-handed bats against the right-handed hitting Moeller, because where'd that one go?
Straight up in the air. Right center field.
We got a man there. Michael's got it covered. But we talked about it quite a bit. And we talked about it yesterday. How the Astros have a lot of pitchers who are backwards and righties that are better against lefties. Ortiz is. Moeller really is. Righties giving him fits this year. Lefties, he's been able to dominate.
Albert Pujols is leading the National League in most important categories. Homers, runs batted in, on base average, slugging percentage, total bases. He's second in batting average. He leads in runs scored. He gets a breaking pitch, and it's a good one. Pujols in his career against Moeller is 9 for 15 with 3 homers.
He's become the Tiger Woods of the National League. Clearly the best player in the league.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Kind of guy, if you were going to place a bet at the start of the season for the MVP, you might have to say, well, you're going to take Albert or do you want the field?
And he just hosted the All-Star game in St. Louis, a congenial host. It's 2 balls and a strike. Pujols, of course, with an enormous show of respect with 73 walks this year.
He hosted the All-Star team?
Yeah, he did.
He had everybody over at his house for a little picnic?
Well, he was the spokesman. He didn't
barbecue?
Didn't have them over personally, but
he should have. It's not much of a host.
He was asked to do a lot of extra things.
I think he should have invited everybody over for a little pool party.
He wasn't too busy. He could have worked that in. He's probably worn out right now. But not too worn out to drive one deep to center field. Michael Bourne underneath it. And a sigh of relief from these Astros fans as Pujols makes an out in Houston. No score. Is the cleanup man in left field. Jeff Plum at third base. Hunter Pence in right field. Pudge Rodriguez wearing a new number 77 tonight. The catcher, Kazuo Matsui, second baseman, and Ryan Moeller batting ninth and pitching.
Kyle Loesch works for the Cardinals tonight. He's made 1 start since returning from the disabled list for the year, 11 starts. That complete game was a shutout against the Astros back in April. 4-5, 4.26 ERA.
Michael Bourne takes a look at a low pitch for ball 1. He begins the night at 286 with 3 homers, 26 runs batted in. Michael, the league leader in triples and in steals. Fly ball goes to center field. Rick Ankiel over into right center. On down for Loesch.
These guys with the mustaches are cracking me up.
Is there anybody who doesn't have one on the Cardinals?
That is fun. Cardinals defensively, Stavanoa, the Houston product in the left, Ankiel's your center fielder, Ludwig in right. Infield, there's Mark DeRosa, newly acquired, and then got hurt right away. Back in action, Ryan's the shortstop, Schumacher, the second sacker. You know all about Albert down there at first. Yadier Molina was also an all-star. And Loesch, the righty on the hill. Good breaking stuff, good command typically.
Miguel Tejada's next. Strike 1 to Miggy. Leads the league in hits with 120. His batting average is 324. He has 8 homers, 50 runs batted in, and a 354 on base average. The Dodgers snapped his 11-game hitting streak yesterday. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Tejada's now 10th in the league in total bases as well. But in that first meeting with the Cardinals in St. Louis in April, he was hitless, 0 for 11.
Brendan Ryan is playing shallow left field at shortstop for Tejada.
Loesch missing, and the count goes to 2-1. Loesch,
look at that.
See how that's the way they're lined up.
Ryan out there, I've never seen the shortstop do that. For not like he's 2 holes or one of the big sluggers, a Barry Bonds type guy.
Ryan has a good arm. He can play that deep. He should have one. Line drive to right field. Ryan Ludwig. 2 down. Ludwig has good range in right field. Nice arm too. Lance Berkman was interviewed quite a bit before this game tonight with his decision to be in the starting lineup, nursing that calf strain.
I think he went after a ball that was down a little bit, but he gets a lot of hits on bad balls, either down, up, in, out, doesn't matter. He's pretty adept at getting the barrel on the ball. Yeah, Puma feels like it's important for him to be in there, especially with a right-handed pitcher on the mound.
Look at Ryan on him and the second baseman, Schumacher. They're not even close to the dirt surface of the infield.
Again, and now we do typically see second baseman strong pull and deep like that in Lance, but we never see the shortstop that deep. You see him out, behind the bag or even on the full side of second base, but it's kind of an interesting alignment they've got going.
Do you think that could be due in part to his calf injury?
I was just thinking to say, yeah, it sure could be.
It's 3-0 as Loesch falls behind. Loesch has had good control, 19 walks in 62 innings.
And if you're Lance and if you happen to hit a little tapper out there, the temptation is going to be to bust it like crazy because you can get a hit, but you can't afford to do it. You can't blow out.
Swinging on 3-0, it pops it foul. Well, he feels that even though he could still feel that calf injury, he can nurse it and be effective. And he talked about this important stretch of games coming up starting tonight for the Astros.
And I think the fact that he's swinging 3-0 is an indication too. He's not thinking about walking and having to run the bases. He's trying to drive the ball.
He can nurse this one. A gapper to left center field. That's an easy double for Berkman. He does not have to run hard. And that's his 19th 2-base hit of the year. Now 2 bases away from tying Cheo Cruz.
He's hurting. Well, hopefully he's able to play through and it doesn't get any worse. You can tell by the way he went around the bases. As he got out to second base, kind of leaned over, put his hands on his knees.
He's aboard for Carlos Lee now, the cleanup man on a 5-game hitting streak. Looking at ball 1. Lee, a .308 hitter with 13 homers, has driven in 50 runs. He was on base 3 times yesterday, drove in a run and stole a base in the 4-3 loss to Los Angeles. Fastball makes it 1-1.
So you likely need 2 hits or an extra base hit to score Lance here. Routine single, I just don't think he's going to be able to score. I don't think you're going to ask him to extend himself to try to score.
Ryan again is on the outfield grass. Other than Michael Bourne, I don't know if Brendan Ryan has set foot on the dirt this entire half inning.
He's a germaphobe. Not want to play in the dirt.
There's DeRosa at third base. 2 balls and a strike. He's pretty deep. High on the left side of the field. And Ryan's underneath it. In front of Stavino for the 3rd out. No runs, a hit. A man stranded. We'll watch Berkman to see if he stays in this ball game. No score.
The top moment, as voted by the fans, is Craig Biggio's 3,000th career hit. That moment will be celebrated before the August 3rd game against the Giants, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a DVD of the game telecast as compliments of the Astros and Fox Sports Houston. Everybody get a chance, not everybody, but if you're one of the first 10,000, you're part of that everybody. You get to hear Brownie's historic call. And I think the broadcasters, I think we're going to get a big chunk of change because of that.
That's news,
be some royalties coming our way, Brownie.
No. Ryan Ludwig, 15 homers. Nice of you to put it out there. That's strike one on a curveball. Ludwig with 58 runs batted in. As JD mentioned earlier, he has had a recent 11-game hitting streak that ended yesterday. So driving in runs behind Albert Pujols, and that's important for the Cardinals. There's a call by Bob Davidson at first on strike two on Ludwig. And earlier this season, Ludwig was really struggling, but that has changed.
Yeah, I don't think there's a hitter in the league good enough to quote-unquote protect Albert Pujols. That is, people are going to go, ooh, Ryan Ludwig's on deck, we better pitch to Albert. You're always going to pitch carefully to Albert. So the key is to have somebody behind him who's going to make you pay.
Ludwig does not make anybody pay that time. Good breaking stuff for Brian Moeller for strikeout number one. He changed speeds on the curveball well.
Starts it in the zone, dips down below the knees, outside third. So maybe we caught Ludwig at the right time. Maybe he's cooling off.
Yeah, baseball can go in cycles that way with players. Rick Ankiel has had an injury back in early May that's apparently really affected him. There's ball one. So his numbers are down. 213, 5 homers, 22 runs batted in. He just celebrated his 30th birthday yesterday. He went head first into a wall in early May. Had to be carried off the field. Line drive up the right field line, and that jammed him. It's foul.
Yeah, there are a lot of players about whom it is said, hey, that guy will run into a wall for you. But Ankiel literally ran into a wall for the Cardinals. Head first, man, that was scary.
It was.
This one on the follow, so that broken back flips off the umpire's head. Was that Carlson back there?
Yeah, Mark Carlson. He felt that broken back go by.
Good thing he's wearing that helmet style.
Yes.
Bang. Down go the lights.
Call at third base is a check swing call, and it's 2 balls and a strike as Ankiel was able to hold up with Molina on deck. Moeller 1-4 at home this year with a 6.02 ERA.
Change up.
That is there for a strike, and it's 2-2.
That ball's down, isn't it, Mark? Good news for the pitchers if that's a strike all night.
Both of them quite capable of using that part of the strike zone to their effect. That one's there for strike 3. Ankiel caught looking, and that's 5 straight outs for Moeller. And now Bart Ennis is waiting. Bart?
Well, Bill, we want to remind Astros fans that kids are free all summer long in partnership with Minute Maid. Bring out the whole family on Friday at 7:05. As Astros take on the Mets, the first 10,000 fans will receive a Little Puma webcams courtesy of the Methodist Hospital System. Stick around after the game for Friday night fireworks, courtesy of Marathon Oil. For more information, go to Astros.com.
Molina with a deep drive to right field. Hunter Pence to the warning track for out number 3. That's 6 straight for Moeller in a scoreless game. standing. Neil Armstrong sets foot on the moon and uttered these now famous words.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
A memorable phrase in the history of the world, for that matter. Jeff Blum looks at ball one. Jeff in that number 5 spot again. He had 2 very good games, batting 5th against the Dodgers. 284 for Jeff. And we were talking a little bit before the game tonight. 2 balls, no strikes. He likes his 5 spot in the order. This is the 15th time he's batted 5th for the Astros. Well, it's been a pretty consistent season for Jeff as far as batting average goes. Not a lot of fluctuation. Rips that one foul. Good play there, and it's 2-1.
Hit his 3rd home run in L.A. yesterday, and that's one area I'm sure he'd like to improve upon a little bit. So hit the ball out of the ballpark a little bit, but you can't really force it. Get good pitches to hit and make good swings, and hopefully that will come.
2 balls, 2 strikes. In July, he's hit 370. 12 runs batted in 13 games this month for Jeff Blum. Soft liner goes foul as well, and he's out in front of several, I believe, these Kyle Loesch pitches. Loesch is 5-4 lifetime against the Astros with a 2.74 ERA.
Perhaps Loesch's best asset is his unpredictability. Throw pretty much any pitch in any count. This fielder just turned a little bit. Having a big night.
Loesch gave the Cardinals that big year last year, 200 innings, a 15-6 record, a 3.78 ERA. Then he signed a 4-year contract, $41 million. Roller to Pujols. 1 out for Loesch. This season he's missed weeks with that injury to the right forearm. And his last start was his first start back off the DL. That's his career work against Houston.
And he started against the Round Rock Club a couple of starts ago. Shut him out for 6 innings. And then made his first major league start at Chicago on the 12th of July. 5 innings of 8-hit, 4-run ball there.
Hunter Pence is tailed off at the plate, down to 295. There's ball one with 11 homers, 39 runs batted in. Hunter went 4 for 17 in the Dodgers series. He's hitting .220 in July for 59 at-bats.
When Hunter was going really well earlier, I think the point we continued to make was, hey, you know what? He's being real patient. He's drawing walks. He's not striking out. Now he's scuffling a little bit, and just the opposite. Striking out a little bit too much and going after more pitcher's pitches and not waiting for something he can really handle. You know, he's such an aggressive guy. He wants to, and he's like just about every other hitter. You want to hit your way out of a tailspin. It's hard to be patient.
The Cardinals have the 3rd best ERA in the National League, 3.70. Hunter does take the breaking ball there, goes to 2-2. They've been winning lately primarily with good pitching. They've had 4 consecutive quality starts and 48 this season. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Loesch. And the throw goes to first, just in time to get him. Pujols a little late getting to the bag. Now Molina's talking with Mark Carlson.
Yeah, Carlson's arguing that he caught the ball, or excuse me, Molina's arguing that he caught the ball, and Carlson said no, the ball was in the dirt, and Hunter wasn't going to wait for the debate to settle. He just took off for first, and finally Molina said, well, this is not going to go my way. I'm going to have to make the throw. So he holds it up to show Carlson that he caught it. Carlson continuing waving off, saying no catch, no catch. I don't know if verbally he was saying anything, because it's hard for the catcher to see the umpire behind him when he's just waving his arm. Got to assume he was saying no catch.
Pudge Rodriguez couldn't get number 7 here. That's been retired. Craig Biggio wore it proudly for 20 years. He was wearing number 12. Didn't like that. He's got to have a 7, so he's got double 7s now.
Comparisons to Pudge continue. Remember when Fisk went to the White Sox, he went from 27 to 72. All these Pudges.
Yeah, Pudge wore number 7 when he was with the Tigers. Quick foul. Coming up later on our Dodge Grab Live feature, Wesley Wright will tell us who he looks up to.
Well, physically, just about everybody.
Well, one guy would be Doug Brocail. Let's see, he's starting his rehab assignment tonight at Round Rock, right?
Believe so.
Still no balls, 2 strikes. The previous foul ball hit the lens of one of our television cameras, and there it is.
Yeah, there's the stitches right there. You see it? I've had that on various parts of my body over the years.
Yeah. Tap foul by Pudge.
Forehead, arm, backside. There it is. Coming right at you. Damn. Who's down there, Robin?
Robin usually runs that camera. That's very steady work. Yeah. Robin's at the helm again tonight, low first.
You know, Robin, in the moving business, they have a slogan. It says flesh before furniture. Isn't the cameraman supposed to jump in front of his camera and take that one?
No.
Save the company?
You get behind the camera. Strikeout, and that's a 1-2-3 second for Loesch. No score after 2.
Scoreless. Fox Sports Houston is now on Facebook. Expand your sporting network. Stay connected by logging on to Facebook.com and searching for Fox Sports Houston. Home teams. All the time.
Good crowd here tonight for the opener of this homestand. The Mets will be here over the weekend for 3 after this 3-game set. Robin inspecting the lens. He only gets out there between innings to expose himself to foul balls. Mark DeRosa is 0 for 15 as a Redbird. There's strike 1. Coming in the trade from Cleveland. He was hitting .270 in the American League. 13 homers, 50 runs batted in. And the Cardinals traded for him. They needed a third baseman. Smacks that one for his first Cardinal hit into left field and becomes their first base runner. So the former Chicago Cub is aboard for Kyle Loesch, the pitcher.
DeRosa, such a valuable guy. He's a good offensive player. Can play all over the field. And a nice pickup for the Cardinals.
Lance Berkman comes over to talk with Brian Moeller. DeRosa, the base runner. Loesch has 2 sacrifice bunts and is a good hitter. 5 hits and 19 at bats.
Lance maybe reminding Brian, hey, look, my mobility is limited here. Make sure you bust off the mound, cover the bunt.
Matsui creeping in. The runner goes. There's a swing and a foul ball. So Tony La Russa puts that runner in motion, and Loesch fouls it.
Loesch a good hitter, so he play a little hit and run. A lot of times in a bunt situation, and this what the pitcher is taught to do in a bunt situation is go ahead and throw a strike. Let him bunt it, get an out. So it's not a lot of times you see a manager on that first pitch. He's got a guy that can handle the bat, turn him loose. Go ahead, you're going to get a fastball to swing at, take a whack at it.
Bunting this time, Loesch fouls it.
Trying to be a little too fine there. I'm trying to guide that one towards first base. DeRosa's not a speed demon, but he's athletic enough that he should be able to advance on just an average bunt. And with Lance not really coming all that hard because of the calf, the only thing he really has to do is get it out of the way from Pudge.
Cardinal pitchers batting eighth some of the time this season. Takes that one, and it's 1-2. And that's been something that Tony La Russa used going back to the Mark McGwire days. And now with Albert Pujols batting that number 3 spot, it gives him Ryan batting ninth, and Ryan is hitting .279 this season. Runs pretty well, so he could help set the table for Prince Albert if things work out for the Cardinals tonight. Redbirds have some rehabbing third baseman in the minor leagues too. Troy Gloss is trying to make it back from shoulder surgery. He's a AAA now. That's another ball that evens a count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Khalil Green also is rehabbing in the minor leagues. Jose Oquendo, the third base coach, flashing signs. The count has reached 2-2. Ryan Moeller is 4-1 with a 2.78 ERA in his last 6 starts. Loesch bunts it foul and strikes out. Pudge down on that one. That's out number 1. That was a carom shot.
Yeah, and Pudge exposed himself coming out of his crouch, trying to get a jump on a bunt in fair territory. As he's coming up, he gets the foul tip, gets smoked by it. Well, he had a good pitch to bunt too. So that's one. Loesch obviously frustrated. That's when you got to get down.
Pudge is hurting. Astros have several players who are banged up right now. Recently, he's been alternating behind the dish with Humberto Quintero. But Pudge did catch yesterday's game in L.A. He's still down on one knee with head athletic trainer Nate Lucero there.
Knee. Nate's pointing to the outside of his knee.
Just to the left of the left kneecap. Now just coming up, as you said, and went right back down. He's caught more games than anybody, but has been amazingly injury free. It was just hard to believe watching him and Brad Ausmus catch yesterday. All the games those two guys had caught. Vizquel, Griffey, Sheffield, the only 3 active players with more games played in their careers than Pudge.
Ironic, we just having that discussion about the stitches of a baseball leaving a mark, and he's really hurting here, despite the shin guard.
That makes a long delay for Brian Moeller too, while Pudge gets ready to go back behind the plate and wants to do some deep knee bends first. Alberto Quintero not putting on the gear right now. He's confident that Fudge will stay in, and he does stay in. Chris Coast, by the way, was catching Mike Hampton's bullpen tonight, and he's been catching the starting pitchers when they throw their between starts bullpens routinely. It's nice to know that there is a third catcher who's done a lot of major league catching in case there does happen to be an injury. So the warm-up is for Pudge, but it might benefit Brian too, because he had to shut it down for several minutes there between pitches.
Yeah, nice to have a guy like Coast, because a lot of guys, when you think of a third catcher, they're willing or capable of going back there, but they're not really catchers. But Coast is, he's a legit catcher.
Sure is. Brendan Ryan, 279, one homer, 14 runs batted in. The Astros at double play depth on the infield. Ryan looks at ball one. He's been playing a lot of shortstop since the injury problems with Khalil Green.
Anxiety disorder, correct?
Yes.
That's the thing for Khalil Green. He and Glaus both down there on a rehab assignment at AAA.
Green's now been moved to third base. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brendan Ryan. Had a career high 9-game hitting streak that was snapped July 11th. And he's been the leadoff man. He's hit in 13 of his 19 games in the top spot of the order. Strike to Ryan. It's 1-2 to the 27-year-old shortstop from Los Angeles who went to Lewis and Clark College. Cardinals drafted him in the 7th round in 03.
Ryan keeping that ball down around the knees tonight. This is a changeup, perfectly placed.
Ryan spent some downtime on the DL with a strained left hamstring earlier this season himself. Had a 2-hit game in St. Louis against the Astros on the 11th of April. He's been pretty much a role player. Has not had more than 197 at-bats in a season. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Cardinals making the deal for DeRosa might be looking to press for more trades here in the remaining 11 days of July. Perhaps a pitcher, maybe an 8th inning setup man from the right side. Trevor Miller's been fantastic from the left side. Swing and a miss, and Ryan strikes out. That's number 4. And maybe an outfielder, because they've had some struggling outfielders this season at the plate.
After the changeup and working the ball down, he stays down, goes off the plate away with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Ryan looking for something soft, trying to react to get a piece of that heater, and coming up empty.
Skip Schumacher bounced out to Matsui, who made a good play on him in the first. Ball 1 to Schumacher. Schumacher's numbers are pretty good. He scored 53 runs, and he's made the adjustment from outfield to second base. Not an easy move. He said in one article he had read a story that Michael Young of the Rangers said he thought it might take him about 100 games to really feel comfortable at third base, moving from shortstop. And he said, then imagine moving from the outfield to second base, how long it might take to get comfortable with that. 2 balls, no strikes. Schumacher's a .338 career hitter against Houston. He did some pitching in college. 2-1, but the Cardinals were awash in outfielders, so he moved to second base this year.
And Brian clips the outside corner. That's the key to Brian's game. He throws a lot of strikes without giving in to the big part of the strike zone. Again, maybe just off that corner. So Carlson at times has been a little generous, and then other times tightening it up a little bit. And Astros dugout asking, hey, where was that one? Motion goes away.
Moeller pitched shutout ball over Washington in his last start here. That was on July 12th in a 5-0 win. He went 6 1/3. The Astros bullpen was strapped that night, and he stayed in through those 6 1/3 innings, facing 7 hits. 3 straight very good starts. Schumacher draws the walk, and there are runners at first and second for Stavanoa now. Moeller's walked just 26. He's pitched over 80 innings this year. Stavanoa hit a fly ball to center in the first.
Well, big confrontation here because Albert Pujols waits on deck.
Bud stops that one. It's ball 1. Jumping out of there. Stavanoa came up from Memphis July 7th. That was his second recall of the year. He was hitting .264 there with 9 homers.
That's a big old number 2 hole hitter right there.
Sure is.
Second place hitters, little slap hitters, guys who play small ball.
DeRosa at second, Schumacher at first. Now it's 2-0, and Brian Moeller desperately needs a strike here on Stavanoa. Cardinals really got out of the gate squarely this year after winning 86, losing 76 last year. That's jerk foul. A line drive for strike 1.
Now again, Brian there at the mercy of the situation. He had to come into Stavanoa, couldn't afford to go 3-0 on him, didn't want to walk him, of course, with Pujols on deck. And Stavanoa, his mission there is, you don't want to be taking if you got power on 2-0. Obviously, he's aware of the situation that Pujols is on deck, but his job as a hitter, if he gets something that he can really handle, go ahead and let the bat fly. And got a good pitch. He was just out in front of it a little bit.
He hits this one to third. Blum is there. Going to second to Matsui for the forced play on Schumacher. That's the big out for Moeller. No runs, a hit. 2 men stranded for St. Louis. No score.
In 1969, talk about the pride you all felt at that time.
Oh, it was great. We had the whole country behind us. We had everything kind of lined up. We had the budget, we had the president, we had the Congress. Everybody was supportive of the program. And it was a national effort. It wasn't just a few of us. It was the whole country pulling for it.
And you designed the communication systems, and so when we heard Neil Armstrong's first words from the moon, that was coming over a system that you designed.
Well, I was the subsystem manager for that, and that was really exciting, especially when you know that you handled the hardware, you checked it out, and you made sure it worked, and you hoped it worked through the whole mission. And when you heard those words from the moon, I mean, literally tears came to my eyes.
And we also have a current NASA astronaut, Dottie Metcalf Lindenberger, who sang the national anthem tonight and did a real nice job.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
How are the nerves there compared to going into space?
Well, I haven't been in space yet, so I'll let you know next year when I go.
So the moon landing 40 years ago, obviously those of you that followed have benefited greatly from everything these people learned along the way.
Absolutely, and it's just, I wish I had been alive to have watched it, but the dreams that they left in our minds and the abilities that they gave us and all the stuff that we have learned from Apollo and then Skylab and in the early shuttle days and now to be a part of this ending of the shuttle era, it's sort of sad at times, but then we're looking forward to the Orion program and going back to the moon, and this time doing longer stays and developing the engineering to go to Mars. So again, we're building on dreams, and we thank goodness for such a wonderful foundation that those ahead of us left.
Passing the dream along from one generation to another, as you did here. Now, talk about your relationship with the Houston Astros. Have you guys always been attended a lot of games, big Astros fans?
Well, I started when they first started, and I guess they were the Colt 45s, and kind of followed their career. I'm not as much an advocate for baseball as my grandson, so I brought him tonight. He knows all the ins and outs, and I got to listen to him.
You weren't watching games from Mission Control, were you?
Oh no.
How about you, Dottie? You enjoy coming out to these games?
Absolutely. I have a 2-year-old, so I don't always get to get out as much as I used to, but when we first moved to Houston, this is a great way to learn about the community and to have some fun, and who can't love baseball? It's a great time.
Well, we certainly appreciate both of you being with us and all the great work that you guys do out there at NASA in this space program.
Thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Brownie, back up to you.
Thank you, Bart, and pleasure to have them with us tonight. 2 balls and a strike to Brian Moeller after Matsui grounded out on a full count to second. Brian looks for his first hit of the season. He's 0 for 21. He taps a foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What are your memories about 40 years ago on this day, J.D.?
Well, like any good American, I was in Canada. I was 9 years old, and I was at Jerry Park watching an Expos game. When you're 9, I'll tell you what I do recall about the lunar landing, though, because we went to the ball game and then we drove back. It was about an hour and a half drive, and we stopped at this restaurant in my hometown, and we went in to get a pizza or something, and it was this little grainy black and white television, and they were showing it up there, and it's like, for a 9-year-old kid, that's kind of cool. You go to a big league game and come home and watch man walk on the moon. That's a pretty good day.
That's a full day. Michael Bourne led off with the fly ball to center in the first.
When you're 9 and you go to a big league game and you watch a guy walk on the moon, you're thinking, hey, anything's possible. Sky's the limit.
DeRosa's on the grass at third. Bourne takes upstairs, 1-1.
What are you doing, Brownie?
Working in San Antonio for WOAI TV and working in the news department, and had interviewed Michael Collins about a year before that. He was orbiting the moon, of course, and he had surgery in the San Antonio area at one of the hospitals, so he had already been named to that lunar flight, and he was being interviewed by several people in the media, and it was just nice to know that you had met someone who was involved in that mission.
Yeah, that's one of those events, right? Anybody who was old enough to kind of have a clue as to what was going on will remember where they were.
That is one of those big events. It was an awesome experience to watch it. Loesch drops a breaking ball in, gets strikeout number 4, and matches zeros with Moeller. No score, 2-3. cloudy outside. That's a good thing for people around Houston, Texas. Keeps the temperature down a little bit, and there's a promise of more rain, perhaps. Albert Pujols leads it off. All things stop when he's at the plate. 0-0 game. He leads off the 4th inning. He hit a fly ball to center in the 1st. If we could put a camera back there roaming the concourses, everybody who's placed their order would be watching the TV set probably, because they do not want to miss a Pujols at bat. Strike one. Pujols 318 lifetime against the Astros. 36 homers, 88 runs batted in. Great numbers here at Minute Maid Park. It was spoiled many a meal for Astros fans here, as a matter of fact. Ground ball to short. Tejada. Pujols just trotting up the line. 1 out. Texas Ford dealers will show you astronauts who have walked on the moon. There's the impressive list. Those share that distinct honor.
Where's Fred Randall?
Don't see Fred Randall on there.
What about Don Knotts and the Reluctant Astronaut?
No, we don't see Don.
Fred Randall was Rocket Man.
Was he?
It's a movie. It's a dumb movie.
Well, that was the real thing. No movie there. And Ludwig looks at a curve ball one.
You know, there are those out there that believe.
Yes, that had never happened. Yes, there are.
And there are those that believe Elvis is living on the moon.
Hadn't heard that one.
Well, I think you can assume there are those that believe that.
2 balls, no strikes to Ryan Ludwig. Ludwig had a big year last year. And that was the first big year he had in the major leagues. 37 homers, 113 driven in. He rips that line drive to left field. And Ludwig is aboard for Rick Ankiel now.
I don't remember him having that much movement at home plate, but he probably has. But I doubt that he made any significant changes after last year. He was so good. But he reminded me a little bit of a Gary Sheffield or Lee May with that waggle of the bat. Good, aggressive swing. He's a little mustachio challenged, though. I'm proud of him for being a good teammate and growing that stash, because that was a pretty weak effort there.
We're looking for a Cardinal who might not have a mustache at this point. Rick Ankiel struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Thought we found one on the rail. Foul back. But you couldn't go against the grain with what the Cardinals are doing, could you? Refuse to grow one?
Well, you could, sure.
Would that be not showing team unity?
No, it would be showing independence, showing being a free spirit, having your own mind, not following the herd.
This is getting interesting. Now we're going to search that dugout and see if there's a single soul.
And the guy who's not growing one, that's the guy I want on my club.
I thought maybe, looking at Joe Thurston, he might not have one.
That's the guy I want on my club.
Okay. Foul back by Ankiel. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Ankiel last year hit 25 homers. He drove in 71 runs. And he's a far cry from that.
I'm not saying I don't want these other guys because they're growing a mustache. I don't hold it against them. That's a good look there.
Yeah. Jason LaRue got that Fu Manchu going.
He's had that.
And
it works. It works for Jason.
Ripped on a line toward the right field corner. That's a fair ball. It bounces high over the wall for a double. Runners at 2nd and 3rd on Ankiel's 16th 2-base hit of the year.
Well, for the most part tonight, Brian Muller's done a real good job keeping the ball down. Now getting it up a little bit and paying the price. Ludwig and Ankiel with very aggressive swings. Now he's in a little bit of a pickle here with a couple of men aboard. Ankiel gets the head out in front of that one. Ryan's lucky it stayed in the yard, and then he's lucky it left the yard. It stays down there in that corner, and it's 1-0 Redbirds.
Now with 1 out, men at 2nd and 3rd. Ankiel has doubled Ludwig to 3rd. It's Molina batting. Molina hit a fly ball to right in the 2nd. DeRosa's on deck. Cardinals have 3 hits. They rank 6th in runs scored in the National League. Infielders come in about halfway. And it's ball one.
Now they're just kind of hedging their bets a little bit, they're cheating in a little bit. We're in a routine ground ball. They'd have a shot at Ludwig if he tried to score. But by not coming all the way in, they give themselves a little bit better range out there.
1 ball and 1 strike. Brian Moeller had a very rough start to the season. First start here against the Cubs. Gave up 7 runs in an inning and 2/3. Next start at Pittsburgh, he gave up 5 runs in 2 1/3 innings. So he had allowed 12 earned runs in his first 4 innings. Then he went on the disabled list with a right knee injury. Came back from that stint wearing a brace, and he's been fine ever since. Very light knee brace. Up the middle, that'll score 2. Michael Bourne throws toward the plate late, and it's 2-0 Cardinals. 2-run single by Molina, giving him 32 runs batted in.
The booing you're hearing is because there are a lot of Cardinal fans here. And they're cheering, so the Astro fans are trying to shout them down. In case you were sitting at home going, what's that booing? What's that all about? Just a 2-run single. Not the end of the world. We can overcome this. We walked on the moon. It's 2-0. It's nothing. Jose Kendo cranking that right arm. The secret weapon going to burn out the shoulder.
Mark DeRosa's the batter. He singled to left earlier. Molina draws a throw. He has 5 steals in 6 attempts. Cardinals have not done a whole lot of running. 41 stolen bases as a team. You know who their team leader is in steals?
I'm going to guess Albert.
You got it. Strike to DeRosa.
So yeah, Yadier with 5 at the Molina family picnic. Then you're gonna pick him for the 3-legged race over Benji.
Yes, you are.
Benji can't run a leg. I don't know about Jose.
No, not sure about him. Albert Pujols leads his team in runs batted in, and steals. There are 3 other players in majors: David Wright of the Mets, Matt Holliday of Oakland, Mark Reynolds of Arizona, who lead their teams in those 3 categories. David Wright and the Mets will be here this weekend. Still no balls, 2 strikes on DeRosa. DeRosa, right after he arrived in St. Louis, had an injury, strained left wrist. Had to go on the disabled list. Mark hit 21 homers for the Cubs last year and drove in 87 runs. He was playing left field when he got that injury. Primarily an infielder over the years. Caps that one foul. Affleck trivia will lead us in a different direction right now, with the Cardinals leading it 2-0. Hopefully the Duck will have some rain around here soon. Name the 3 astronauts to fly 2 lunar missions.
Yes, indeed. They got the flag up now.
They haven't necessarily walked on the moon, but they've been on 2 lunar missions. 3 of them. And you could name your all lunar team Wally Moon.
Wally Moon would be good. Yeah. Blue Moon Odom.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Could be about it.
Moon Mullen.
Yeah. DeRosa draws a throw. Molina, rather.
What's we got? Anybody nicknamed Sea of Tranquility?
No.
Moon Unit Zappa. We'll have her sing the anthem.
Popped up foul. Still no balls, 2 strikes.
Might have to expand that team and just go all solar system.
Hector Luna.
Hector Luna. There you go.
He could be on there.
Yeah. Mercury Morris.
Oh, yes.
Venus Williams. Billy,
hey guys, how about Spaceman Lee?
Spaceman Lee, absolutely.
He would work.
Billy DeMars.
Feel free to chime in at any point, Bart. We're struggling.
Well, Warren Moon. Oh, darn, wrong sport.
That's all right. He dropped the first pitch.
Still no balls, 2 strikes.
Apollo Ono, the ice skater.
Yeah.
We've known several players who've been space cadets. We could put any one of them on.
Yeah, we got
The young ladies who worked in the Astrodome in the beginning, were they called Spaceettes? They were the ushers? Usherettes?
I don't remember what they were called, but I do remember the guys, the ground crew guys that had the astronaut uniforms on. Those were a big favorite.
Strikeout number 5 for Moeller already.
Think of Brian Moeller, you don't typically think of strikeouts, but he's got it going tonight. And it's not because he's overpowering with his stuff, but he's so precise with the command of it.
Two 2-0 Cardinals. Kyle Loesch, the batter. Loesch struck out in the 3rd. He tried to get a bunt down. That didn't work. Swinging, he taps it foul. Strike 1. He's a 161 career hitter. 12 runs batted in. You mentioned he pitched against Round Rock just a couple of weeks ago and pitched very well there. 6 innings of 2-hit shutout ball on one of his rehab assignments. He kept getting hit by pitches, and different things happened to that forearm when he was rehabbing. So it's been a rough ride for him to recover from that right forearm injury. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kyle Loesch, and he was a very good sign last year by the Cardinals. Signed late in spring training and paid off with that big season for them.
Yeah, he was hoping to get a contract last year similar to the one he got now, but it just wasn't out there for him.
He was hit in his non-pitching elbow by a pitch from Phillies' Joe Blanton in a game, and then things really came apart for him. He gave up a 2-run homer to Jason Worth and a grand slam by Ryan Howard. Fly ball. Michael Bourne comes in shallow center field. And the Cardinals break the scoring ice with 2 runs, 3 hits, and a man left. 2-0 St. Louis.
A good Jeopardy category there.
Michael Collins in the middle there. Neil Armstrong on the left. Buzz Aldrin on the right. The original crew. Bottom of the 4th inning. Cardinals 2, Astros nothing. 4 hits for St. Louis, 1 for Houston. Miguel Tejada hit a fly ball to right in the 1st inning.
Major Nelson never got up, did he?
No, he didn't make it. Berkman and Lee to follow Tejada. Loesch gets a fastball strike call. He's retired 7 in a row. Loesch in this ballpark 1-3 with a 4.85 ERA. Tejada puts that one out of play.
They got Miggy going to the moon out there in the big diamond vision screen.
Oh, that's nice.
Get them all loaded up in astronaut gear. There he is.
Scoreboard crew really gets up for events like this.
That'd be a movie there. Miggy on the moon. That'd be one worth seeing.
Brendan Ryan fires wildly. Pujols saving him an error. That's a great play by Albert Pujols. It's a hit for Tejada, but he could very easily have been at second base. Pujols knew when to leave the base, and then he had to go high to stop that throw from sailing out of play.
Well, by playing so deep, Brendan Ryan really has a lot of range, gives him more time, but he does not have enough arm to get Tejada here. Gives it a whale of a try, though, and then Pujols with a good play. Leaving the bag, flagged that one down, but Ryan probably shouldn't have tried to make that play. But if you got a mobile first sacker who can bail you out, why not? I like the way he wears the uni.
Oh, yeah. Infield hit. Now Lance Berkman. Infielders were very deep his first time up, but now a double play in order, so they have to be closer to the bag, and there's ball one. Berkman ripped a double on a 3-1 count to left center. Ran gingerly to second base. Loesch falls behind again. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Berkman.
And we saw Lance take a very aggressive swing at a 3-0 pitch first at bat, and I think with that calf, that's going to be his MO. Normally, he's very patient, willing to take his walks. I think with that calf, he's probably going to be a little bit more aggressive, looking to juice the ball in hitters' counts.
3 balls, no strikes. Lance was 3-0 his first time up and took a cut. Lance has been on a run as a left-handed batter the last few weeks. Very good numbers. 451 left-handed since the 20th of June. Loesch throws another ball and walks him. First and second, nobody out.
Wednesday is our next Price Matters Day. It's brought to you by HEB. 10 seasons here at Minute Maid Park, so we've selected 10 games where you score a ticket, a dog, chips, and a soda for just $10. Again, the next one this Wednesday. We got a great matchup for you. Roy Oswalt, Chris Carpenter. Tickets available at Astros.com. I think we need much more incentive than that pitching matchup, but we're going to give you one anyway.
Okay. Carlos Lee popped a short on a 2-1 count in the first. Aggressive cut, strike one. Lee with 4 career homers against Loesch. Trying to get the Astros on the board here. Jeff Blum on deck. When Loesch shut out the Astros in St. Louis 3-0 on April 12th this year, he allowed just 3 hits. He retired 24 in a row. That was the low hit complete game of his career. High to left field. The Astros are going to lead 3-2. This one makes the seats. El Caballo. 3-run homer, 3-2 Astros, number 14. Everybody trots around the bases, and the Astros now have a 1-run lead, with Lee getting his 53rd run batted in with a home run.
In keeping with the theme of the evening, a moonshot from Carlos. High towering home run. Been hitting for a lot of power lately. Maybe that'll be the start of something. He gets down and through this one. Roger Houston.
That was a hanger. And it's strike one to Jeff Blum, who grounded out to first time up. El Caballo with 14 homers now. 1 ball and 1 strike. That created a real buzz in this crowd. Towering pop, first base side, through holes, and the catcher Molina will not get to it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tonight's Jack in the Box standings. We'll show you some facts and figures on Houston's LBJ Space Center. It was donated by Rice University, opened in '63. Named the Manned Spacecraft Center, renamed the Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center. 100 buildings, 1,620 acres. Carlos's last homer was July 10th here against Washington. He had gone 83 at bats between homers there. Now swing and a miss by Blummer. Molina with a toss to Pujols. That's out number 1. Strikeout number 5 for Loesch.
Well, that was pretty fortuitous. El Caballo hit the home run. Lance draws the walk and then just had to jog around the bases. And thanks, pal. Thanks for giving me a ride.
Yeah. Giving everybody here a lift. Now Hunter Pence struck out in the second inning. Astros started off not well at home. They are now 24 and 23 at Minute Maid Park. They're 15 and 8 here in the last 23 games. Took them a while to get the winning formula going at home this season. It's 1-1, and they're 17 and 24 within the division, and 10 and 14 at Minute Maid against the National League Central clubs. That's been a struggle for them too. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cardinals have been clipping along 25 and 19 within the division. They played 500 ball on the road in the NL Central. Bouncer up the middle. Ryan spins and throws again. Low this time, infield hit. A 1 bounce throw, and Hunter Pence beats it for a single.
I've been playing Los Angeles the other day with a young umpire. I can't remember who was running for us.
It was Keppinger.
Keppinger. You run Keppinger up. Watch who's down there tonight? Bob Davidson. Watch Bob. We won't see him in that picture, but Bob waited. Took a good long look at that play before he made the call. Just takes a good long look, stays on it, and got it right.
Good point. Well, there's a blur going up the line. You see Bob positioned well, looking in, stationary, his head still. Pudge Rodriguez struck out earlier. And as they tell the umpires in umpiring school, you can wait. It's nothing until you call it.
And I think, you know, on a bang-bang play like that, you guys making a big play, there's a tendency to want to ring them up. You know, real dramatic, punch them out. And Bob did a real nice job. And I pick on Bob because of all the balks he's called over the years. That was well done. Bob Davidson, he's been at it a good long while. He's out of the game for a while. He's one of those umpires that got replaced. And hosted a talk show up in Denver, I believe.
Sure did. I think he was even umpiring some amateur games. Just to stay sharp. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pudge Rodriguez. Was down for a long while after that foul ball hit him on the knee, left knee. Phillies are thrashing the Cubs. It's 9-1 at the end of 7. They beat up on Ted Lilly. He gave up 7 earned runs in 4 innings. And he's a little banged up right now. The start was pushed back a day. Ryan diving to his left, flips out of his glove to second, and there's the relay by Schumacher. Very slick, 6-4-3. But earlier, Tejada had an infield single. Berkman a walk. Lee on an 0-1 pitch. Sent one halfway to space. 3-2. by AT&T, by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, by Dodge, and by Southwest Airlines. Astros fans have seen 5 runs scored between these two clubs. In the 4th inning, the Cardinals got 2. The Astros responded with 3 on one big swing of the bat by Carlos Lee. Our power play is brought to you by Reliant Energy with 5 strikeouts through 4 innings for Brian Moeller.
2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd. 1 more in the 4th. Ludwig, Ankiel, Los, Ryan, DeRosa all going down against Mo. Chasing that fastball off the outside edge.
Ryan leads it off in the 5th inning, taking ball 1. He struck out in the 3rd. Ryan struck out high 8 in 6 innings in San Diego July 1st this year.
You get the sense the Cardinals don't have any problems getting Brendan Ryan to play hard.
Yeah.
You got that tense kind of pent-up energy. Go, go, go all the time.
It looks pretty intense. 2 balls and a strike. Astros pitching coach Dewey Robinson played for Tony La Russa at AAA before Tony became a major league manager with the White Sox. Out to the shortstop, Tejada. Goes to Berkman, gets a hustling Ryan.
At what, 26 years of age, something like that. Tony became a manager really young.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's true. I don't remember the exact age. But Bart Ennis has more. Let's go to Bart now.
All right, Brownie, it was time for our progressive fan of the game. And if you're wondering what happened to that bomb that Carlos Lee hit, show it to him.
Right here.
What's your name?
David Davis.
And tell us how this transpired, Dave, because you already leaked to me that you weren't really watching when he hit it.
I wasn't. I was back here digging through my girlfriend's purse, and I heard the crowd roar, and then I turned around, and I seen people gathering around. Next thing you know, it flies through a guy's hands, bounces on the ground, off the wall, and into mine.
And you had a couple of guys crawling on your back trying to get it. He managed to fight them off.
People tried to tackle me, but I was a little tougher.
You would
than they
not
were.
be denied, and that is why he is the progressive fan of the game. Brownie, back to you.
All right, nice work, David. I don't know what your girlfriend would say about that involving a purse, but no balls and a strike on Schumacher. Schumacher grounded out and he walked. La Russa first
38.
managed at age 38.
Yeah.
79, the White Sox. Left field and deep for Carlos Lee. Turns around to play it off the wall. Fan reached over and interfered with it.
Yeah, they got it. They got it.
Yeah. And Carlos looking up, hands on hips. What are you doing? He's thinking.
It's a double.
He was ready to play that carom shot. And the fan reached over and interfered. So it's a double for Schumacher.
Would have been a double. Anyway, he sliced it with Schumacher running. Tony thinking about going out to argue, but they got it right.
It is the umpire's discretion on where to place the runner. They try to judge where the runner would have wound up had the fan not interfered, but that's very difficult. You don't know what kind of a carom it's going to get off that wall. So
they will always rule that a double.
Yep.
It would be fun, though, if you were playing in the playground, Sandlot style. You'd tell Schumacher to go back to first. You'd bounce the ball off the wall, and then you'd play. Carlos would pick it up, and Schumacher would sprint to second, and we'd have a play. We'd have a do-over. So 34, I believe Tony was when he first managed in the big leagues.
That's Schumacher's 20th double. Stavino is the batter. Stavino 0 for 2.
But his minor league managerial career must have started in his 20s then.
Yeah. Well, Dewey said he was the closer at Iowa that year, 1979, for Tony. And he said back then closers would usually go a couple of innings or maybe even more. Line drive, Tejada!
Wow. Miggy. Yeah. A stiff neck. Give yourself a spotlight. We've seen him make a lot of plays up the middle and a lot of plays from the hole with his arm. This is all leather. This is great extension. Watch Blummer. Blummer's throwing him a spotlight as he's making the play.
Yes, he is.
The spotlight craze is sweeping the ball club.
He landed hard. Intentional walk to Pujols.
Talking to a scout in L.A. the other day who said he thinks Miggy's playing his best shortstop in years.
Really?
Well, really.
Made a lot of good plays recently. Pujols has seen a lot of intentional walks this season. It's an automatic. Any manager on the planet is going to put him on in this situation.
Well, I don't know. Most will. Some, I think, in the 5th inning, the way Ludwig's been swinging it, wouldn't.
76 pitches for Moeller, 49 strikes. That's the 34th intentional walk to Pujols this year. Yeah, you're putting the possible go-ahead run on base. Sets up a double play with Ludwig, but Ludwig has been hot. He's 1 for 2. He singled to left and scored last time up.
As good a hitter he is, the best hitter in the league, no doubt about it. So what's he hitting? 333. So he gets a base hit a third of the time. He's got an on-base percentage of 4 something. So odds are that he's going to. The odds are still better that he's going to make an out.
Yes, they are. Drive to center field. Michael Bourne with his back to the infield, way back, up on Taos Hill. And Brian Moeller with a fist pump at home plate as he was going to back up. But instead, it's a long out, number 3. And the move pays off, but Ludwig really rocks one. Might have been a home run somewhere else. And Minute Maid, it's the Astros 3, the Cardinals 2. It's 3-2 Houston. Kyle Loesch working to Kazuo Matsui. Curveball good for strike 1. Matsui showing bunt. Brian Moeller is out in the on deck circle. Good ball game tonight. Deep drive to center caught by Michael Bourne, retiring Ludwig with 2 men on in the top of the inning.
Has made 2 or 3 plays this year up on the hill. A lot of times you see guys catch it as they run up the hill, but he's made a couple having to be on the hill as he makes the catch. That one where he fell down was just incredible.
And sails way out of strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Kyle Loesch, who's 4-5 with a 4.26 ERA. Bourne watching and chopped on 1 bounce to third. DeRosa takes care of out number 1.
A time for a new feature. It's batting stance guy. Whose swing is he imitating? Here, log on to Fox Sports Houston's Twitter page and make your guess. Greg Lucas will have the answer on Astros Live after the game.
Ryan.
It is. So that was the clue right there. That little
Yeah.
batting stance guy.
Go to twitter.com/FS Houston. See if you're right on the postgame show. This ball one to Brian Moeller.
So he's starting us off easy.
Yep. Brian struck out looking in the third inning. Mets beat the Nationals in Washington 6-2. They had really been slipping lately. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the Nats are a good antidote for a struggling ball club.
New York now 44-48. The Mets began the night 9 behind the Phillies. Phillies are pounding the Cubs right now, 10-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Phillies are smoking. This will be, what, 9 in a row if they win this one.
Yep.
Jimmy Rollins has gotten hot.
They'll get back to 500 at home if they win this. 1 hopper to third. Rosa, 2 outs.
The State of Astros history is brought to you by the M.D. Anderson Cancer Center on this date in 2003. This is ironic. Jeff Bagwell becomes the 35th player in Major League history to reach the 400 home run mark in a 6-3 win over the Reds. Way to go, Baggy.
And
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, perhaps the most difficult home run park anybody's seen.
Big leagues. Now.
Michael Bourne 0 for 2. Broken bat. It goes to Brendan Ryan. And it throws to Albert Pujols. It's a quick 5th inning for Kyle Loesch. The Astros lead at 3-2. Who Wesley Wright looks up to.
My parents. One for them, I wouldn't be here. So everything that I've achieved up until this point, I owe it all to them. So that would be my greatest love.
Wesley Wright on the bullpen with Tim Burdack and the other Astro relievers watching a 3-2 ball game unfold through 5 innings. Brian Moeller is 4-0 in his career against the Cardinals. He's made 7 starts against them. His teams have gone 7-0 in those 7 games. Rick Ankiel leads it off in the 6th inning. It's a double and 2 trips. There's strike 1 to Ankiel.
Back to a breaking ball. Ankiel sitting on a heater.
Jeff Fulcino warming up for Houston. It's 1-1. Moeller is one of only 12 players in history to throw at least 45 innings against the Cardinals without recording a loss. He's the only active player among those 12. Foul ball makes it 1-2. They're taking some shots tonight.
Enough already. Put it in play. Hit it forward. Stop hitting it back at me. 20 years of just taking a beating back there.
Yeah.
And yet he comes back for more.
Molina and DeRosa to follow. Sweet rolls over on. And Matsui puts him out. Looks like Brian changed his speeds a little bit. And he got Ankiel to reach out there and roll over on it for an easy grounder. What he does well.
Put a little on, take a little off, move it in, move it out.
Yadier Molina ripped a 2-run single up the middle in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. Molina, a big part of this Cardinal club. He's catching, he's throwing, and he's hitting. Ball 1. Tomorrow night it's lefty Wandy Rodriguez and Todd Wellemeyer at 7:05. Wednesday night at 7:05, Roy Oswalt versus Chris Carpenter. One ball, one strike. Dewey Robinson was saying when Tony La Russa was managing him at AAA in '79, he was great at communicating with all the players. He would talk to everybody every day. Everyone knew exactly what his role was. So he was grooming himself then for what he's known for. 2-1. He said that he was very meticulous about players and how to use them best and what the players like. He said, when I got called up to the big leagues, I was the last man on the pitching staff and I was a long reliever. So I'd go several days without pitching. And I was the type of guy who needed to throw to hitters. So I'd throw maybe 20 pitches to hitters before a given game and then be available for that game. And so he said, one time we were in the 6th inning and I got a call in the bullpen to go see Tony on the bench, and I wondered what was this all about. And I went up to see Tony, and Tony said, hey, do you want to throw to some hitters tomorrow? We can set it up before the game.
Yeah, you got to manage people as well as the game. So he's in the midst of a game thinking about getting a guy ready for the next day.
Big hopper to third, and Molina wasn't running.
He's begging for it to go foul.
2 outs. He finally dragged himself out of the box up the first base line. That made an easy play for Jeff Plum.
Played part of a minor league season for Jim Riggleman, newly hired by the Washington Nationals. And he was kind of big on that too, communicating with all the players every day, making sure everybody knew what was expected of him that day or how he planned on using it. That's what Tony likes. Guys like DeRosa and Ryan, guys you can plug in and move around. I think all managers like those kinds of players. Players get hung up sometimes on what their role is, and that's why I think as a manager you value guys who can do a lot of different things. I just want to be a ball player, Skip. You tell me where to play, where to bat, I'll be good with that. You tell me when you want me to pitch, that works for me.
DeRosa's fallen behind 0-2. He's 1 for 2. Bowler can really show a lot of different looks with all the pitches he throws. One and two. The Astros pitchers threw a lot of breaking balls at the Dodger hitters in the previous 4-game series. Pitched very well with a scouting report. Dodger hitters were struggling.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you ask just about any pitcher what his best pitch is, they're almost all going to say a fastball. And the reality is that's not the case for everybody. It's quality baby right there.
Oh, yeah.
Wandy's best pitch, clearly his curveball.
He's up tomorrow night.
And hitters prefer to hit fastballs. And so you go into a game or a series, and, when you talk about, we throw this guy breaking pitches, but you have to be able to command the breaking pitch, because even though hitters like to hit fastballs. The pitch that really gets killed is the bad breaking ball. The hanging breaking ball is one of you really paid for it.
Diving Blum got a glove on it, but it trickles behind him and on through into left field for a 2-out single for Mark DeRosa. DeRosa 2 for 3 tonight. Gets the pitcher to the plate.
Mark had been 0 for since putting on a Cardinal uniform, now breaking out of it. A lot of folks were interested in DeRosa when it became apparent that he was going to be dealt by the Cleveland Indians.
He was 0 for 15 as a Cardinal until this game. Now Loesch 0 for 2. Strike one. Cardinals have several hitters who have been slumping lately. Their pitchers have picked up the slack. Their pitchers have combined for a 2.52 ERA in July. That's tops in the majors. Up the middle, Moeller stopped it with his leg, it appeared, and gets it. And after 6 for Brian Moeller, he's given up 6 hits and 2 runs and leads 3-2. Hard. That spectacular catch on Stavinoa's liner. That was out number 2, and then after the intentional walk to Pujols, Ludwig hit a moonshot that was caught on Towles Hill for the 3rd out. Brian Moeller has pitched a scoreless 6th inning. The Astros still lead 3-2 with Tejada leading off. Strike one for Miggy. Got on the infield hit to short, and then he scored on the 3-run homer by Carlos Lee in the 4th. That's hit to center field. Rick Ankiel cruising back for the 1st out. And Lance Berkman, who's had a double to left center and a walk.
We have to welcome a new Astro fan into the world. Born 2 days ago, Kelsey Virginia Fry. Congratulations to Lisa and Eric, proud parents, and proud uncle Matt Hudes. My good buddy Matt, uncle for the 3rd time.
For him. Lance Berkman takes ball 1. We're awaiting a message from Chris Sampson tonight, by the way. He's going to text us if he becomes a father again. Fish leaving the ballpark late this afternoon, heading for the hospital. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, the technology is amazing. People be tweeting now.
Bouncer goes Pujols' way and foul.
See some dad in the delivery room frantically texting. I see the head.
Well, he has a long list of people he's going to text tonight when it happens. Pujols and Berkman 1-2 and runs batted in since 2001 in the National League. Deep drive to center field. Ankiel heads way back to the wall and keeps it in his glove. A lot of white showing, and he made a good running catch for the second out.
We talked about Ankiel earlier running into the wall and getting hurt. And this time he brushes up against the wall after he tracks it down. You see him make a little late adjustment there. And I tell you what, for a guy who took the blow that he took, that's got to be a little scary. Start to approach that wall.
True. Carlos Lee. It's a high heater, ball 1. Loesch has been battered by Lee with 5 career homers. 8 runs batted in. Batting average over 350. 2 balls, no strikes. Now he's fallen behind El Caballo. Allowed 8 homers in 61 innings coming into this game.
What you've got here, it's a hitter who's, well, let's take a look at this first.
Coors Light 6th inning. Coors Light Freeze Cam showing you that shot. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
You've got a situation where the hitter has all kinds of confidence in this matchup, and the pitcher who's thinking, I got no idea how to get this guy out. He's just wearing me out. Even the strikes are hard foul balls and the outs are hard. I want to come up with a new pitch.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The big fellow is heating it up for the Astros, and that's a very good sign for their offense.
3-1 curveball. So that's a pitch you know, it's kind of like an 0-2 pitch you just threw him right there. He just doesn't want to give in. You can understand why when you consider the numbers that Carlos has put up against him.
He draws a 2-out walk.
Almost like they were pitching around him with a man in scoring position.
Yes.
The way they worked, and Molina sliding way over into that left-handed batter's box.
Starts with a fresh count on Jeff Blum with Wesley Wright and Jeff Fulcino in the bullpen for Houston. Blum grounded to first and struck out. Hunter Pence on deck. Strike 1 to Jeff. Cardinals built their lead at the end of April, and they've enjoyed a very good season to this point. Will somebody take a run at them? Well, several teams are close enough to do that. And have been doing it. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Cardinals have played 1 game under 500 since May 30th, 22 and 23. The Astros in that time are 27 and 17. Goes the big guy. Lee is out at second as Molina gets to the ball and throws to Ryan. And Lee and Angel Campos talk it over. Molina taking care of out number 3 on a ball that didn't get away very far. Scramble for it. by Chevrolet and by GMC Truck. The ball was in the dirt with Jeff Blum batting. Carlos Lee took off for second when it kicked out to Yadier Molina's left. Molina pounced on the ball and threw him out.
Now, two things here. One, it's not a bad play. It's a good play with 2 outs to gamble there and try to get to second base. The one thing, when you look at that last replay, as Carlos took his secondary lead, he'd come to a stop and then had to restart from the ball in the dirt. So ideally, when you're taking your secondary lead as the pitch is delivered, you shuffle, and you want to still be moving in anticipation of either contact or a ball in the dirt. Carlos had stopped and then broke, and maybe that wee little bit was the difference between safe and out.
Strike to Ryan, who's 0 for 2. Brian Moeller's thrown 96 pitches, 62 have been strikes. He's on the corner with that one, and it's 0-2. He's had a mix going tonight, seemingly avoiding being predictable. One and two. Al Raboski, who does Cardinals television, was asking Dewey Robinson about Pudge Rodriguez, who did not acquire the best of reputations for working with pitchers earlier in his career. Dewey said, oh, he's into it. He's always asking me how to pitch to certain guys. Do you want to work with this guy? He said he is very much taking it personally what the pitcher does.
Yeah, we could see that early on, especially in those early starts with Wandy. He was really engaged. And Roy has talked about that part of his early season problems were, just getting used to Pudge getting used to him. The onus is on the catcher to learn the pitchers, what they like to throw, how they like to work, and get out of jams. Even for a guy who's been around as long as Pudge has, it takes a while to learn a pitching staff.
Pudge out to the mound now, and Brian Moeller's just given a bonus out to Cecil Cooper. He's gone 6 1/3 innings. He's at 100 pitches exactly. Now, Coop went out and talked to Russ Ortiz yesterday, and he showed that faith by leaving him in the game. But now there's Brian Moeller leaving, and our Pontiac summary of his pitching line showing the 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. Get the Pontiac you want before they're gone. Wright coming in with 1 out, a 3-2 lead to face a left-handed hitter, Skip Schumacher.
Well, outstanding work for Brian Moeller tonight. Wesley in for Schumacher. Maybe one more. We'll see how things shake out. He's working for the 24th time.
Schumacher with a bouncer to Berkman. And the toss to Wright. 1 pitch. 1 out for Wesley Wright.
Yeah, you cannot assume anything with Lance out there now with that bad calf. I mean, you should be breaking to cover first base anyway on a ground ball to the right side, but certainly now you don't want the big Puma to have to tax that calf any more than necessary. A ball that normally Lance would just catch and sprint to the bag, but he's going to let Wesley do the running here. One pitch, one out. Thanks for coming.
That's his job. He's done it well. It didn't take very long. 3-2 Astros. Back in a moment. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Jeff Fulcino came out of the bullpen, and now with the right-hander's arrival, it's going to be pinch hitter Colby Rasmus batting for Nick Stavinoa. Stavinoa 0 for 3 tonight. Rasmus is leading the National League rookies in several offensive departments. He's playing a lot of center field. There's a fastball for strike one. Wesley Wright retiring the only man he faced. Gives Schumacher on one pitch. Fulcino's 3-3 with a 3.67 ERA.
We'll slip that fastball by Rasmus, and that set up that split finger that he uses to left-handed hitters. He's back with the heater. Keeps the ball down pretty well. That's fastball 90 to 94. It's at about 92. Doesn't get a lot of movement on his fastball. It's pretty true.
Broken bat liner, Tejada. Relief work is very quick. Wright and Fulcino slam the door on the Redbirds. 3-2 Astros in the middle of the seventh. making it 2-0. And then in the bottom of the fourth, the Astros got a 3-run homer from Carlos Lee to take a 3-2 lead. Brian Moeller, 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. He walked 2. Wesley Wright got an important out, as did Jeff Fulcino. And now it's Colby Rasmus in left field after pinch hitting for Nick Stavinoa. Home plate umpire Mark Carlson up the first base line to talk with Bob Davidson about something. See where they're looking now. He's going over to the Astros bench.
Well, there's somebody's head poking out of the scoreboard.
Okay.
There's something poking out. Is it one of those? Is it one of the panels in the scoreboard missing?
We'll check. He's watching.
That's kind of like the Letterman had the man underneath the stairs. The man in the scoreboard.
Now he's closed the panel. We don't see him anymore. Jeff Blum hooks a ball 1 from Kyle Loesch. Jeff was at the plate when Carlos Lee was throwing out, trying to advance on a pitch in the dirt. Jeff 0 for 2. Pence and Rodriguez to follow. Fly ball. Rasmus. 1 out for Loesch. Bart Ennis.
Well, Bill, summertime means family time at Minute Maid Park. And starting Tuesday through August 23rd, kids are free all summer long in partnership with Minute Maid. For every full-price adult ticket you purchase in the view deck or mezzanine, you can get 2 free tickets in the same price level for kids 14 and under. No better way to catch the action when kids get in free, right? For more information, go to Astros.com or come by the Minute Maid Park box office. Brownie?
Jason Mott is warming up in the bullpen for the Redbirds in this 1-run game. Pujols, Ludwig, and Ankiel up in the 8th.
One more sure would be nice. Pitching a fine ball game too. That one swing of the bat by Carlos Lee, a real difference maker.
4 balls, 2 strikes to Hunter Pence. Jason Mott. Looks like LaTroy Hawkins in the Astros bullpen. 36,437 to paid attendance. Pitch up the right field line by Hunter Pence. Foul. Still 0-2 as a Redbird fan nabs it. This used to be Cardinal fan country when the Astros were a minor league affiliate. Houston Buffs of St. Louis. Astros will be going to St. Louis on their next road trip after visiting Chicago for 4. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh had a rain delay in Pittsburgh. They're only in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Pirates lead Milwaukee 6-1. Third base. DeRosa with a quick throw to Pujols. 2 outs. DeRosa set his feet. Bud Light brings you what's on tap with the Astros. Todd Wellemeyer and Wandy Rodriguez go tomorrow night, 6:30 for Astros Live. It's Chris Carpenter and Roy Oswald in a battle of aces Wednesday night, 6:30 for Astros Live as well. Pudge Rodriguez struck out in the 2nd inning, bounced into a double play in the 4th. Wandy Rodriguez watching along with Roy Oswald as Pudge bats. Oswald Matsui on deck. The Pirates have lost 17 straight to Milwaukee. Longest win streak by one major league team over another since Baltimore beat Kansas City 23 times in a row in 69-7. 2 balls, no strikes.
So it just figures the Pirates having that big lead, that game will end up getting rained out.
We're all over that. Foul back, and it's 2-1. Yeah, another run would be nice. The Astros were in that situation yesterday, leading at Los Angeles 3-2. They couldn't get that run home, and the Dodgers tied it in the 7th and won it in the 8th on a homer by Matt Kemp.
Painting that corner down and away.
2-2. Astros stranded 9 yesterday. They did not hit well with men in scoring position. Bouncer third goes foul. Those one-run games.
In yesterday's game, a lot of the traffic came after there were 2 out already. It's tough to put an inning together. You get 2 outs and put a man or 2 on, and then able to get the big hit.
Philadelphia battered the Cubs 10-1 tonight. Fly ball left field. Rasmus headed back toward the bullpen. That's a deep drive to left field. Pudge into second base with a double. And the active doubles leader gets number 13 of the season.
Hit that with one hand.
Sure did.
Breaking pitch out on the front foot a little bit, but the pitch stayed in the zone and drifted back into his swing. Got extended through it. Bangs it off the wall out there. There's another 2-out opportunity.
He's a good one-handed power hitter. Now Matsui. Matt Kata comes out to the on-deck circle. Dave Duncan heads for the mound. He's in his 30th year as a major league pitching coach. Kyle Loesch has retired Matsui on 2 ground balls tonight in the 3rd and 5th innings. Loesch has thrown 106 pitches. Now Bart Ennis is waiting. Bart.
I got some more chicken news for you. The Chick-fil-A cows are everywhere. Take a look in the outfield. Anytime an Astros player hits one of the Chick-fil-A foul poles, fans from that game take their ticket stub to any greater Houston area Chick-fil-A for a free chicken sandwich. Eat more chicken. Brownie.
We will, Bart. We will. We promise. Now after the conference at the mound, it's Loesch versus Matsui. Matsui with 2 groundouts. Pitcher spot due up next with Kata on deck. Matt Kata just rejoining the Astros today from Round Rock. And Darren Erstad was placed on the disabled list with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, that whole conference there was initiated by Loesch. He came walking in off the mound, called Molina out, and then Dave Duncan came out of the dugout. Loesch was looking for a little guidance. Says, how do we want to go after this guy? Obviously a big situation here.
Matsui puts it in the air behind third base. Brendan Ryan cuts over, and Brendan Ryan in foul territory makes a very good catch. No runs a hit, a man left. It's still a 1-run ball game. 3-2 Astros through 7.
Fan voting in the Minute Maid Park 10th season bracket challenge ended yesterday, so you can't vote anymore. And there's your winner. It was Craig Biggio's 3,000th career hit. That moment will be celebrated before the game on August 3rd against the Giants, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a DVD of the game telecast, compliments of the Astros and Fox Sports Houston.
Well, Troy Hawkins is in the game. Albert Pujols 3 for 5 lifetime against him with a homer.
Troy gave up the home run yesterday to Matt Kemp, the game winner. We're going to shake that off and go get Fat Albert here.
Strike to Pujols, who drew the intentional walk in the 5th inning. He's 0 for 2. Pujols 2 for 12 against the Astros this season. 2 homers, 7 runs batted in. He had a grand slam off Roy Oswalt in St. Louis. He swung, and it's 0-2.
Albert rarely looks bad swinging the bat. You know, he'll swing and miss. He's human. Usually doesn't look as bad as he did on that swing.
Hawkins gave up the homer to Kemp on a slider yesterday in the 8th inning with 2 outs. The Dodgers won by that margin of 4-3. Kemp guarding Jeff Blum guarding the line at 3rd, and that's close. It's 1-2. Carlos leaves a step in front of the left field wall. Line shot to right field. Hunter Pence charging, and he comes up, but Lance wasn't at the bag. He wanted to throw to first to see if he could get Pujols. Lance was not at first base.
Because Lance knew that they had no play on him, and he wanted to discourage the young buck from making a bad idea, making a throw that he shouldn't make. So Lance said, I'm just going to stay put here and not encourage Hunter. I'm not going to throw him out.
Pujols with a single. Ryan Ludwig follows. Ludwig is 1 for 3. Jeff Fulcino retired, the only man he faced, Rasmus. Ludwig rocked a deep drive to center field in the 5th inning with 2 men on. Round number 3 of that frame. Hawkins, with Pujols having stolen 10 bases, he leads the Cardinals in steals. He's been caught 3 times. Hawkins has been susceptible to the stolen base. Strike to Ludwig.
Well, Hawk 4 to 5 miles an hour swifter with that fastball than Brian. He plays more of the power game. Cardinals seen a lot of different looks here tonight. Hawk, the 4th pitcher for the Astros.
Masked Mark Carlson. 0-2. Now Pudge goes out.
Tough night for both those guys back there tonight. Pudge has gotten whacked a couple times. Carlson as well. So Pudge out to have a chat with LaTroy just to buy Carlson some time to get everything back in order back there.
Nodding, he's okay to continue. Mask wearing fraternity checking on each other. Pudge put a hand on his shoulder. No balls, 2 strikes for LaTroy Hawkins. Rick Ankiel on deck. In the dirt, Albert's going, Pudge is throwing, Matsui's tagging, and he's out!
Well, both teams now have lost a runner at second base on a play like that. The ball in the dirt. I think it made a little more sense with Carlos trying with 2 outs to advance and the ball off to the side. This ball out in front, but that's just an instinctive play for a base runner. You don't have a lot of time to analyze it. You see the ball in the dirt, you take a shot, and you challenge the other man to make a play on you, and Pudge came up big.
In the dirt. It's a strikeout, but Ludwig is sprinting for first, and he's going to make it. A strikeout and wild pitch, and Ludwig is on at first base. Strikeout number 6 for Astros pitching, but Pudge unable to block that one. And now there's another base runner with Ankiel batting.
And you think Hawk, after giving up that home run on the breaking pitch to Kemp yesterday, is telling himself, I'm not going to hang any more breaking balls. Really make sure I get through that pitch.
Ankiel double to right. He's 1 for 3. Ball 1. Really unusual that both teams have had that situation, as you pointed out, with a runner at first trying to advance on a ball in the dirt and getting thrown out.
You get 2 of the better throwing arms in baseball behind the plate tonight with Pudge and Yadier Molina.
Out of the way. 1-1 to count. Ivan Hernandez won for the Mets, 6-2 at Washington. Jeff Franco hit his 6th home run. Rodrigo Lopez won for Philadelphia, 10-1 over the Cubs, and Ted Lilly goes to 9-7 with that loss. Chad Durbin saved number 1. Ibanez hit his 25th homer. Ruiz number 4, and Ryan Howard number 24. Hawkins misses. It's 2-1.
Tommy Hanson now 5-0 for the Atlanta Braves. The Phenom called up a while back and beat the Giants 11-3. Hanson went 7 innings, allowed 3 runs, struck out 11. Put some good young arms coming into the league.
Yes. Fouled away. Well, the Giants have been leading in the wild card race. That'll help those teams behind them. And they got throttled pretty well tonight. 11-3 with Romo taking a loss. It was tied 3-3, and then Atlanta got 6 in the 7th inning.
Jonathan Sanchez started for the Giants tonight. He pitched pretty well. Most of the damage came against the bullpen.
Giants are now 8 games over 500, 15-42. In the dirt.
An unorthodox way Pudge went after it, but he was able to corral it.
Full count now. Ankiel, a .314 career hitter against Houston.
Yeah, this situation, 3-2, 1 out. A lot of times you see the base runner break here, but I would suspect not. Ankiel swings and misses a lot. Hawkins, think of it as a ground ball pitcher. You're not too worried about the double play. You'd be more worried about the swing and a miss double play.
Ankiel, a former pitcher.
But the advantage the Cardinals get if he's breaking, of course, will make it more difficult to turn the double play. Plus, easier to score on a double. They feel like, sometimes you make that call if you just anticipate a pitch. I think you're going to get a fastball to hit, and you trust Ankiel's ability to get to it, and maybe you do start him.
Line shot center field, a hit in front of Michael Bourne. Ludwig is going to hold at second on a single by Ankiel. First and second, 1 out now for Molina. Jose Valverde is warming up.
Basically just playing soft toss right now, unless he's heated up and just throwing for the sake of throwing. I didn't see if he's been throwing for a while or not.
No, I didn't notice.
Movement in the Astros dugout. I wonder if somebody's going to the phone with the message. Let's hasten the process down there a little bit.
Alberto Arias stretching there in front of Valverde. Has been pitching a lot lately.
If that's the word, you'll see Mark Bailey answer that phone and crank him up.
Molina drove in 2 with a single up the middle in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. All-Star this year for the first time. Won a Gold Glove last year. He hit 304 last season and drove in 56 runs. All the way, and it's 1-1. Hawkins was the closer earlier this year when Valverde was injured. Now he slipped back to a setup role, and Doug Brocail is beginning his rehab assignment tonight, expected to last several appearances. Hawk had pitched scoreless baseball for 8 straight appearances until he ran into that Kemp home run yesterday. Cincinnati has scored a run in the top of the first at Los Angeles tonight against Jason Schmidt. His first start in a couple of years. Did he swing? Yeah, he did, and it's 1-2. 97-mile-per-hour heater coming on a downward plane.
And Molina gets it started, cannot check.
Fans have had a good ball game to watch tonight. 36,437 bought tickets to see it. They watch a runner at second, Ludwig, another runner at first, Ankiel. Tejada to his right. Matsui and Beckman, double play. And with a throw from Pudge earlier in the inning in that double play, the Astros really performed well with the gloves. No runs, 2 hits, a man left. In the middle of the 8th inning, 3-2 Astros.
If you're traveling and you can't see your favorite Astros game on television, you can always tune into MLB.tv, the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer. Catch those you missed on demand. For more details, go to Astros.com, where baseball is always on. Now, I'm sitting next to Greg Lucas, who's been monitoring the Twitter. What's up?
Well, I think our first of the batting stance guys thing was too easy because every single person who guessed was right. And that also probably kept people from guessing because they knew it was too easy. They'll be harder later, though.
Yeah, that's kind of a distinctive stance that people here know.
We'll let Kevin tell everybody on the postgame show who it was, but everybody knows.
Kevin and Dave Harbison coming up on Astros Live after the game, guys.
All right, thanks, Bart. Matt Cato, the pinch hitter here for LaTroy Hawkins, hits a fly ball to left center field. Colby Rasmus waiting. The new pitcher is Kyle McClellan. He has out number 1.
Well, McClellan, part of a very talented Cardinal bullpen. They've done a nice job this year. Their relievers have the 4th best ERA in the National League. McClellan's working for the 39th time here tonight. 2-2 with a 2.85 ERA. Strikeout walk ratio, not exactly what you're looking for, but he's been greedy, tough to hit, just 2.08. A lot of sliders.
Strike to Michael Bourne. He's 0 for 3. Dave Duncan, starting pitcher Loesch out of the game. Watched him go 7 innings. Loesch allowed 5 hits and 3 runs. He walked 2 and fanned 5. 1-1. DeRosa, the pitcher spot, and Ryan due up in the Cardinal 9th. 2-1 to Bourne.
DeRosa pitching in at third base. Michael likes to shoot the ball that way. Maybe can punch one over his head. End up at second base here.
3 balls and a strike with Tejada on deck.
I'm a little bit surprised. Well, okay, now DeRosa's going to back off 3-1. Not likely to bunt, so he's going to back up and play even with the bag.
McClellan, 25 years old. Got a save in St. Louis against the Astros. Outside the left field line and out of play for a 3-2 count. Got his second major league save back on the 10th of April against Houston in a 5-3 win.
Way to go.
And he gets a strikeout on Bourne. 2 down.
McClellan, I think McClellan, I think of sliders, but he's throwing a lot of two-seam fastballs, and look at the movement on this one. Yikes.
Coming up immediately after the game, it's Astros Live Post Game, brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Stay tuned for that. Miguel Tejada, 1 for 3. All the scoring has come in the 4th inning of this game. The Big Bang Theory works again. Foul back, there's strike 1. Tejada opened the Astros 4th with an infield hit. Berkman walked. Lee ripped a 3-run homer. Cardinals had scored earlier in the 4th on a 2-run single by Molina. In tight to Tejada. 1 ball, 1 strike for McClellan from Florissant, Missouri, in the St. Louis area. 25th round pick in 02. 30 holds last year for the Redbirds. Bouncer goes foul. It's 1-2. Seo Kendo.
The secret weapon. Tony La Russa would have loved to have a Kendo on his club. He could play everywhere.
You know it. He played all 9 positions, didn't he, in the majors?
I think so. Not in one game? I know he pitched.
Don't know about one game.
I don't think he did in one game. Did he play for Tony? Did he play in St. Louis a little bit at the end of his career?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Tejada with a looping fly ball into the outfield, and it's caught by Rasmus. We go to the 9th inning. Jose Valverde's been tuning up. He'll come in with a 3-2 lead. DeRosa, a pinch hitter, and Ryan 2 up. Big game for the Astros tonight. They are 0-3 against the Cardinals. They are 17-24 in the division. Valverde with 9 saves and 13 opportunities.
Well, Astros in position here to win game 1 of this series, and they've got Wandy going tomorrow, Roy on Wednesday. It won't be easy, of course. Cardinals had good pitching as well, especially on Wednesday with Carpenter, but a chance to draw first blood in this series, and it falls to Jose Valverde here to shut down the Redbirds.
Mark DeRosa looking at strike 1. He is 2 for 3. Well, Troy Hawkins in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, and a double play ball on Molina. Joe Thurston out in the on-deck circle. Left-handed hitter. Grounder goes foul, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. The Cardinals have stranded 7. The Astros have left only 2. Thurston to hit, and then Ryan due up third.
Astros now playing no doubles, guarding both lines in the infield, deep in the outfield. Straight away for DeRosa.
1-2. Valverde got a save in the 3-0 win Thursday night at Los Angeles, working 1 scoreless inning, allowing a hit. Pitched in St. Louis on April 12th, 1 scoreless inning. The Astros lost that game 3-0. And he opens with a strikeout of DeRosa. Had a good split finger fastball the last few times out.
Leaning heavily on it here in that confrontation with DeRosa. Finishes him off with 1 here. A little drifter over the outside edge. Walk it off, big man. With a walk-off home run, he's got the walk-off strikeout.
Joe Thurston now the pinch hitter for McClellan. McClellan had a 1-2-3 8th with a strikeout. Thurston has played a lot this year. He's played third base. The injury difficulties for the Cardinals at that position. He's gotten a chance to cash in on some playing time. There's ball 1 to him.
Pretty good in the pinch, 3 out of 12.
Joe, 29 years old. Just 8 major league at bats last year with Boston. He looks at strike 1. It's 1-1. Chris Duncan comes out to the on-deck circle with Ryan due up next. Thurston was drafted by the Dodgers. He was bouncing around Yankees, Philadelphia, Washington, back to the Phillies. Cardinals signed him as a free agent last December. It's 2-1 to Joe Thurston. He had played second base earlier in his career. As a pinch hitter, he's 3 for 12 with 2 runs batted in. Swing and a miss and a wicked split. And it's 2-2.
Cardinal hitter's going to go into the clubhouse and tear up the scouting report that says, hey, you got to be ready to hit that 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Valverde.
Valverde just got his 150th career save against Washington July 12th. Bouncer up the middle, and that sneaks through into center field. Thurston on with a pinch single, and now Chris Duncan brings the long ball threat as a pinch hitter.
A nice adjustment there by Thurston after swinging wildly at the previous split finger. Just stays real quiet with that up the middle approach. Pokes a base hit right through the middle of the diamond.
Duncan has gone 1 for his last 30. He's been bothered by a right oblique problem. 228, 5 homers, 32 runs batted in for the pitching coach's son, Chris. Duncan's had 259 at bats this year. As a pinch hitter, he's 4 for 11. Strike to Duncan. Chris had cervical disc replacement surgery last August.
And again, the split finger pitch, just settling over the outside corner.
Duncan hit 22 homers in 06, 21 in 07. Roller, and Matsui hurries to get it to second. Tejada relays to first. Double play! And the Astros beat the Cardinals in a tight one, 3-2. Earl Weaver baseball, solid pitching and a 3-run homer and good defensive play. Carlos Lee provided the 3-run bomb back in the 4th inning, his 14th of the year. And the Astros turned double plays in the 8th and the 9th.
2 big double plays, and both times turned under pressure. Base runner trying to get a piece. Last inning, Matsui. This time, Tejada. Miggy able to avoid the contact. Duncan giving everything he's got down the line, but they're able to get him by just a whisker over there at first base.
That's a big win for the Astros. They're now 3 behind first place St. Louis, with Matsui getting it to Tejada. On to Berkman, and it's 3-2. Astros beat the Cardinals tonight. More tomorrow.